Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's TGIF. It is great. Ooh, what do we got here? Comb Live. I like that. And I have. What's that? More of the birds. Okay. And we got Daniel. Good morning. Let me see. Where's my volume? Oh, there it is. Okay. What are we looking at here today? Markets are still stuck in their turmoil. They're not sure. At first they thought that Trump has won, and it still seems that way. We'll see. And the end result is that it's a court case, and we talked about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, where it was just going to be ugly after the election. Welcome to the ugly. So anyway, you can see here the dollar is going down. So obviously there's no flight to safety, so that's a good thing. You can see here, as we put the arrow there on the down days there, and we're actually starting to make some good lows in the Swiss. So let's go over to J4X. We can kind of exemplify it. Let's see, which mouse is that? Right here. So Daniel, weekend, TGIF, life is good. And KO Live, life is good. It's the weekend. We like that. TGIF, Let's see if we can change that. No, not that. Trying to change the dimensions. I don't think it will. But in the end result, let's see. Yeah, oh, there we go. And you see here we're going after some low lows right there. So obviously flight to safety has disappeared, which is nice, We'll see how like I said, we're just going to watch the way the whole process plays out, and we'll go from there. As you can see here on line 21, 2 weeks in a sell, 3 days in a sell, this thing does move down, and that means the dollar is moving down. So that's the best way we like to watch the dollar anymore. And then obviously when we go over to the euro, you'll see the euro. Where are you, euro? Let's move that over too a little bit. Just a little bit. Can you see the numbers? We want to be able to see the numbers. So there it is, like that. And we'll just move that just a little bit like that. And let's put the euro in there. And you can see with the euro, same situation. It's rising, which means it's gaining value. And so, which means a lack of flight. They're not running for panic. One of the strangest things in the modern market is the fact that when it doesn't matter if it's the United States or if there's, if it's another country or whatever, whenever there's a panic in the financial markets, they run to the dollar. Even when it's in the United States, the panic, they run to the dollar. I mean, I've seen people go, why are they buying American bonds? America is doing X and there's problems right now. They're the reason why the world's markets are nervous, and they run to, the dollar. It's a safe haven, and plowing capital into U.S. Treasury bonds is a safe haven, which a lot of us shake our heads at, in the sense of, wait a second, we're the ones making the problem. Why are they running to us? I want to sell mine, and so that has become one of the stranger things we've seen in modern finance over the last, I guess you could say 2 decades now. As a trader, and a floor member throughout the decades, I'm just guesstimating, speculating that it's the liquidity more than anything else, and the guarantee that it's still going to be there. And obviously, that's the key right there, is the guarantee that it's still going to be there. So that is about that. Let's drift over. No, what is it? Oh, you know what? We don't have the euro up on here, so let's do that too. Let's put the euro over on on the Chicago Quant and see what it looks like there. And right there, and that is line 14. And as you can see on line 14 right there, 2 weeks in a buy and 3 days in a buy. So the math is doing its job. It is doing its job. I'm waiting for mature muscle memory to show up. He'll come in and maybe he'll talk about the grains. How about that move in the soybeans, huh? That's something. It's been a good move. Alrighty. Now, let's see, where do we go? Let's go to cable. We'll look at the cable. Now, cable's backing off a little bit. I guess that's because of the lockdown thing. You know, there's a lot of strange things going on there. But you can see it's been in a weekly buy for a full 3 weeks right there. Going on its 4th week. Let me answer some of these things I'm getting texted from. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, let's go back to that. Just switch over to there. And bingo. There we go. Yeah. I'm answering somebody right now. Before the dawn. There we are. Boom. Boom. Okay. Now I'm answer those things. Somehow or another, most human beings don't seem to get the idea that, you know, I'm involved in something every day at the same time. I don't know why. They go, "Oh, did we call you during the webinar?" It's like, yeah. And this is a trader, no less. It's like, I just shake my head at it. But anyway, that's where we are. It's not bad. You know, the cable is not falling apart from anything here. It looks very firm. A lot of us are thinking it's going to see the 34s, and if not better, really. Now, where are we at here? Oh, let's go to Turkish lira. Daniel, you're kind of early today too, aren't you? Usually Daniel's in like towards the second half of the webinar. In early today. That's a TGIF thing, huh? Let's go to Turkish lira here on J4X also. Sounds like Mr. Putin is having good conversations there with President Erdogan. Oh, look at that. Nice little bounce off of that. Now, are we going after, like, all-time highs again today? Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, another new all-time high. So now the all-time high is 8.5597er. And the last one that it took out was 8.5460. Just a little handle there, nothing major. You can see it's bounced off the time manifold right there. This thing seems to be like an airplane trying to, taking off. It just doesn't, it has that look like it ain't coming back down to earth, It's going to go to escape velocity. Look at that. I mean, it's just like off to the moon, Alice. So, oh, KO Live. What do we got here? Do you determine the direction through divergences? Yes, exactly. Just like in the movie. Exactly. So in other words, when we look at the J4X, which is a really good example, we're using 3 public indicators here. Okay? And we're going to highlight them. I think we're going to highlight them. There we go. This one is a stochastics fast. See, stock F53. Okay? And we're just using, and then when we go to edit the indicator, we're only using one of them too. That's the thing, is we're only using I think it's the K we're using. Or is it the D? Let me see if we can go back and figure that one out. We're using the D, fast D. Okay? Now, we're not looking at it from the highs, like a normal stochastic interpretation, looking at the high of the range and assuming that's the top. Instead, what we're doing is we're watching the difference between that and this one here is that is the slow stochastic D. And at one time I thought we were even using different parameters to them, but somehow or another it doesn't seem that way. And then so we're matching them up against each other. So when the fast breaks through the slow, we see it as a bullish thing. And vice versa. When we see the white break through the slow, we see it as a bearish thing. Okay? And so we're looking at it as a relative thing. Remember, Doc is always functioning through the concept of physics. And physical reality. In other words, something does something, and it leaves a characteristic from doing that particular process. And so, like they always talk about I was reading a wonderful story about Africa yesterday, and about the different countries and the economic systems that were set up and after colonialism, and how the success or failure of them, and the reason why, because of the particular systems they erected, I guess you could call, or created, or instituted, however you want to look at it. So as I sip my tea, so what I always do is throughout my whole life, I've always looked at cause and effect. And so if I do this, if I do X, I expect to see something like Y to occur. And if I use W, then I'm expecting, say, Z to occur. But if I do W over and over again, I don't expect to see Y. I expect to see Z. And if it changes, then obviously W has done something very weird, and I've made it do something very weird at a specifically different time, and that will be categorized and and learned. So yes, we look at divergences, and then what we did is we took the CCI, which is the purple line, and when you see it breaking down, we try to think of that as the energy, the level of energy. Notice it starts to top out in here and start to go sideways. Same thing here. It tops out in here and starts to go down. It's starting to go sideways from even if it was a small move up, even so, you can see it goes way more into it, changes its frequency. And so we try to emulate those, and what we're trying to do is, let's see, we got Turkish lira up there. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to emulate my math. And we'll see if we can move this over. Excuse me. Let's see if we can move this over and try to show you. In a sense of, notice there's a little bottoming thing going on here, and there's a little bottoming thing going on there. I'm using a stochastic to smooth out my formula. And they have a lot of the same type of characteristics. Okay? And this is a daily, and then this is a weekly. And then what we're using is we're using Hinky Ashi to light up the bars like my dots. They have about a 70% correlation to my... Let me rephrase that. These Hinky Ashi candles have about a 70% correlation to my dots. So that's pretty good. And the objective is to give you, the trader, a tool that will be very accurate as possibly can be, not being obviously my work. In other words, this way you can go to J4X every day and take a look at what's going on. And if you use these parameters right here, then you can have a good fighting chance to understand when you see it way down here, it doesn't mean it's made a bottom. It means it made a bottom when it's breaking the lines here, especially when you see the energy coming back into the system. And the white line piercing, look what you get. You get that strength. And vice versa, too. You do see it here. Now, these are somewhat lagging indicators, the candles on the bars, but they're still a good tool versus no tool. Or you tune into Doc's webinar, and boom, you see the system here. So that is what we're really talking about here. Let's see if we can do this. We'll move this back over, like so. I wonder if we can move that over a little bit. Does that go over? Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to blow it up, and the next thing I know is I don't have it. But in the end result, so you can see how the lines do have that characteristic. You see here, what is that? 3 weeks ago, it made a bottom. You can see here, same situation, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, we made a bottom. They have the same characteristics. The histogram is kind of like the purple dashed CCI, and the time manifolds kind of commingled together. But we're looking at the differences between these things, not how high they are or how low they are. Okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. Cool. I like that. That's an okay. Okays are good. All right. So there's the Turkish lira. Look like they're going to just keep on pushing it up. I mean, it's just what it is. It just keeps on finding a way to go higher. Unlike what we say, we kind of see that as they're attempting to reduce the value of their currency to try to bring in investing. And I guess that's what it really comes down to: outside money in the end. In other words, outside of Turkey, money coming in and investing in the country and hopefully creating prosperity. I guess that's the way to look at it. Cool. The whole concept is pretty simple. Even my math is simple, really. Just like E equals MC square or F equals MA or pi. My math formula, which I invented myself, is a relatively simple concept. It's a little tricky with the topology and so forth, but overall it is simple, just like the rest of those formulas I've described to you. It's a consistency. It's a constant. It works. We've back tested it on many different moving objects as far back as 37 million years ago. So it's kind of cool. Um, let's see. I guess enough of me. Let's look at the markets. Would you care to see anything particular? If you like to see anything, any of yous out there, just put it on the chat line. You don't even have to song or dance. Just put the symbol up there, and we'll go after it. And then if you want deeper thought or idea to it, we can just ask the question. Remember, there's no wrong questions in trading and money. What there is there's only short answers or long answers. That's all that really comes down to. All right. Where do we go from here? Usually what we do is we look at the Canadian. The Canadian, a lot of times, moves in the same trend as the Turkish lira, which is very strange. In this case here, luckily for Canadians, it's not doing that. It's coming back down even more now. And as you can see here, we've been in the sell since, like right there. I don't know why the red line wasn't there. I know we've put it in there half a dozen times. Sometimes it disappears. And then you can go over to the spreadsheet, and that's line 20 right there. You can see 2 weeks in a sell and 4 days in a sell. And that pressure is on. You can see on the weekly here, the time manifold has been pierced on the minus side, and it's still drifting south. Even with this nice little pop that we had out of it, you can see where the daily went into a buy, but the weekly told us don't trust it. And sure enough, it found a way to roll over and fall down. And now it's made a lower low, pretty much from where it started. So that's always neat, It's always nice to see our math do its job of 8.5 out of 10 being accurate. That's a consistency for decades, which is really cool. So any of you are out there that play craps at the casinos, just imagine playing the pass line, doubling up after the roll. And if every time you lose, you just double up again. So if you bet $10, the next time you bet 20, and the next time you bet 40, and the next time you bet 80, and the next time you bet 160, and 320, and so forth. Sooner or later, you get your money back with our math. Only it's not as insane like that. My cousin tried to make that point one time, and he was so adamant. And he was a very good mathematician in the finance side. And good old Mark kept on trying to convince me that, and I didn't need the convincing. I understood it instantly. But for some reason, he tried to make his younger brother understand it. And sure enough, they bet $25 and lost, and then bet $50 and lost, and then let me tell you, it got up to some crazy number, like 32,000 or something like that, dollars. And then he won, and he got his money back for $25. So now my math never works that bad. It like I said, it's got an 8.5, not a 2080 or 1080 or 298, whatever. Mine's more consistent. So chances are, if you lose 2 or 3 of these here, chances are you're going to win way more than that. It's always outdoes it. Doesn't even matter how insane the situation is. I've seen it happen in Enron. I've seen it happen in Marvel Comics. I've seen it happen in a lot of different things over the years. Let's see. Middle age. There you are. I was wondering what you were going to jump at. Wheat, not soybeans. How about those soybeans? My God. We put that article out there on Wednesday about the soybeans, and they have exploded like 50 cents from it. It's been fun. All right, let's check it out. March wheat and silver at your convenience. Always, no problem. All right, let's go to March. There's March wheat, actually, right there, isn't it? Okay, let's go to March wheat. Not the red wheat, right? Just the regular March wheat, the Chicago wheat. You can see here it went into a sell there yesterday. There it is today. It's up just a little bit. Let's give it a refresh. And what happened there? It disappeared. When I give it a refresh, it'll wait for the next reading, and then it'll come back again. But it's looking sloppy and just sideways at the moment. You can see we're in a weekly buy, so it's not exactly the short you want to take. It just means that you would take profits, that type of thing. In this case here, it was bouncing around on the sell, then went into the buy here, and we did get some strength out of it. But this is just short term. Unless you're a grower, you don't really need to worry about it, or you're trading options on it. Now let's go over to, I got to show you. Let's take a look at the, there's soybeans. Just a little bit higher today. Not taking out yesterday's high yet. Yeah, we put that article out here saying you had to be long. What a nice little pop that's been. Let's go over to silver now. Silver jumped with gold and platinum yesterday. Matter of fact, what is it? There's gold. You can see that's up. Let's take a look at the silver. There's the silver. And the buy is there. I'm going to put that little symbol in there. Let's go like that. There we go. I could have sworn I put that in there. I had to put that in there. It's in the buy. So anyway, there's that. You can see that, and you can see it up on our spreadsheet on line, where is it at? Line 6, 5, 4. Line 8, 9, there it is. 9? Yeah, 9. So it's 9 weeks in a sell, 1 day in a buy. But notice, I thought I put the circle in too. What is up with this? I gotta save these things more often. All right, and we've gotten this going on like from there. It's been all week long across the buy line. So we're going to go into the weekly buy. We're in the daily buy, and this thing is really showing some life in it again. There's a nice correction, A and then a B and a C, and a lot of this could be one big A, and this could be a B to come up into this area here into the 28s again. And if they take out the highs, then we know we may be going for a new run. Robin was thinking we're going to see the 32s, the 38s. So we'll see. We'll see how they play that out. So there it is there. There's the wheat, and that is that's March wheat, and there's the silver. I want to take a look at deck wheat. Let me see what deck wheat is doing. Deck wheat, right there it is. Chicago deck wheat. You see that too. The pressure's on in there. Now you can see it's just a little bit firmer from yesterday, even with him being in the sell. But again, we're in that weekly buy. Now you want to see something really smooth. Check this out. This is March red wheat, or the Kansas City wheat, or the Minneapolis wheat. The red wheat. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. That's December there. You see it went into a buy, and it's doing the strangest thing, and then it couldn't go into the sell even with this down because it was a red and a green there, and now it's trying to lift itself back up today. We'll see how that goes, but we're getting another one into the weekly buy. The grains and the commodities are definitely being sought after, as we would say. They are definitely being reached for. Yeah. All right. Now, I hope that took care of you, middle-aged. I was expecting to see you, but I thought you would have come in on beans. With that action in the beans, that was been like... And corn. Corn's doing very well also. As we take another sip of the tea. Remember, it is breakfast time here in the States. What else we got going on here? I guess that's it for the moment. So, let's take a look at, let's see, we were leaving off at, we were looking Canada. There's Canada. So it's trying to do a little bounce in there on the daily. And we saw what the Swiss looks like. So, nothing new on the change of those weeklies, that's for sure. And what other one, anybody care to see any particular other currency pair? We can always throw it in. Ferris, how you doing? It's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, huh? We are looking for some. Well, we're going to have a very active, nice weather weekend, so can't complain about that. Let's see now. What is going on? You have anything particular you're looking at? What was it yesterday? You were playing with the crude oil, right? What is crude oil doing? Let's take a look at that. Usually we go. Oh, I know what it is. We usually go to CAD from here because the Canadian, which then we lead ourselves into the oil sector. So there it is. The last day and a half, it's finally lifting up, matching with the oil. And now let's just take a look at oil. And there's oil, and it's rolling over. And that didn't work right. And so then you can see here, this is going into a sell. It seems like sometimes they march together, sometimes they lag behind each other. The CAD versus the oil, but it's always interesting to watch. Especially when they start to change directions altogether. Now you can see here we're playing with a weekly buy, and we went into a daily sell there yesterday, and we're down today from it also at the same time. Could be very interesting trading there. What about a CAD HKD? Let's see if we can find it. Doc will try anything twice. Let's see. So we'll go to there, Canadian, and let's put it in, since it's the Chinese thing, let's do it there. Let's see. Oh, well, before I do that, everybody can take a quick gander at the dollar yuan, the Chinese currency there. And you can see that still in a weekly sell. That's the first week. There's the second week. Now it looks like it'll be a third week in a weekly sell. And the daily sell, I guess it was right here. So let's put our little line in there. I don't know why, because we're going to be changing it now to Hong Kong dollar. So let's see what that does with Canadian. That sounds like a fun combination. All right, now let's go over to the, let's do that. Let's see, where are we going to go here? There. Let's do that. Activate. Was it yesterday we did Aussie CAD, right? So let's do this. Let's go do it on that. I'm not even sure what that's all about, but let's do that. Let's do it on there. So we go with instrument, and we're going to go with CAD. They don't have a Hong Kong. How about that? Got a CAD Swiss and a CAD yen, but not a CAD Hong Kong dollar. Let's see what it looks like over in J4X. Let's see if they have it. CAD. There's CAD yen, CAD Swiss. Let's try it. Let's try punching it in. CAD / H. There it is. They got it. Let's see if we can go to an add on ours. Format, instrument, add symbol, cache, CAD, look up. There it is right there. Close. You see it's trying to lift up over on the J4X. So I imagine this will be very interesting. Now we go CAD right there. And we'll do the same thing here. CAD right there. Now that's interesting. Let's move that over. There was a buy right there, but it was gave us a volatility signal too. Let's see how the weeklies look. Not even sure what the greens are all about. I think I'm looking at the super too at the same time in the green. So it went into the buy where? Right here? Let's move that over a little bit. Yeah, it went into the buy there, but it wasn't a buy for a few days. And it stayed in there. Then it went into a sell, so we can grab this one. And then it stayed in the buy. Then it went into, was it very close? I guess it went into a sell here. And it went back into the buy right there. Then it went into the sell there again. Then it went into the buy. Whoop. Went into the buy right there. And still in the buy. So it's still rising. Let's see how the dailies look here. There's the buy. There's a sell. Let's move that over. Sell was right there. Buy is right there. Sell is right there. There's a sell right there. Let's grab that one from here. And move that buy over one. It's very smooth, isn't it? It's a very smooth product. Boy, I haven't looked at Hong Kong in so long. Ever since the British lost it, I figured you knew that what was happening was going to happen. I mean, just at least I thought that. That's for sure. The sell was right there. And a buy was right there. And then it went into a sell. And then back into a buy. And then this. Did that even survive it? Can't tell. If the buy started there and failed here, let's see what that says. So it's a minus 14 and a plus 28. Let's plot 5. So it didn't make it into the sell. And then it went into the sell there. I mean buy there. No, one over. Right there. And then there's a sell there. No, it can't sell there because it's a green dot. So it's sold the next day on that one, right? Is that right? Let's make this bigger. We can move it around. Yeah. So it went into the sell there. Day before it did. Went into the sell right there. And it just reversed its direction here. How's that? Who was that? Ferris, right? No, that was who was that? That was who was asking for that? Let's see. That was KO Live. How's that? Does that work out all right? I'm short DAX intraday as well for a quick short trade. We can take a look at that. And your short CAD yen and CAD yen, not CAD Hong Kong. Oh, okay. I hope that answered a lot. Now we'll go look at CAD yen. Let's see what CAD yen looks like. I heard another ding. Where'd that come from? Oh, okay. Let's answer that. And let's see. Let's and that has to be red like that. There we are. All right. So now let's put CAD yen in there. Right there. Like so. And close and see what it's doing here. So went into the buy here, right? Let's move that over a little bit. That's an interesting situation here. Goes into the buy here, stays in there to there, and still stays in there. Then finally gets into the sell here and pushes you right back into the buy, and then go back into the sell. There's that, whipsawing thing where you lose twice in a row, and then out of the park. This whole thing here makes back whatever you gave up in the last 2 trades there. And then, let's see, you go into sell there. get rid of that. Let's just do this. Let's just shrink it down. There we are. And then gets back into the buy here. I guess what it is right there. And it's a sloppy action. And I guess it's in a buy here too, so that's pretty cool. And that sell doesn't work because the lines are above. See where plot 1 is 0, 0, 0, and so is plot 5. It's not able to go minus. And so then it gives you the win. And then what happens there? Plot 1, but plot 6, remember this is a super, so it's plot 6 we're using there also. So the plot 4s and 1s are minus, but the plot 6 is plus. Either way, this is the next buy right there. Let's push it that way. So there's your next buy. And it's a slow, mosey little adventure, that's for sure. This one made money. This one tried to trip you up a little bit. And then let's move it over. Boy, that's a thick line. Let's just fix that a little bit. Make it a little less thicker. So it goes into the sell here. And let's see, I guess we can move that out of the way. And move that out of the way. And move that out of the way. So, and what is this here? It's a red-green on that. So you can't take that. So the short is there until here. And then you can't get long until, where is it, really, like right there? But by then you're in a daily sell anyway, so you can't take that. You can see what they do with that daily sell. They smack-a-doodle it and push it into a weekly sell. And it looks like that's where we're at right now. Let's make that wider. So what we're doing is with those greens, it's the super part. So that's that plot 6. So we can see all 3 of them, just for interest sake, to see what they're doing. What is it? So we went into the sell here. Matter of fact, I wonder what that was. That was a buy. That's a legitimate buy. So that was like, it went into the buy there and then rolled over the next day. And boy, they did push it down, and this thing was breaking down at the same time. Interesting. How's that for the, was that Canadian yen? Canadian yen. So we'll see. We will see how that plays. Let me look on the chat line. There we are. All right, now on the chat line, let's see. So we did that, the CAD yen. Let's see, yes, I was short crude. Okay, so yeah, that's good. Crude closed in the daily sell there yesterday. Let's see. KO Live says, channel, what about the, oh yeah, we looked at the Hong Kong. Let's see. So first says, I'm shorting DAX. We can go hunt down DAX now. And we just did the yen for him. And let's see. Okay, cool. And thank you from KO Live. Thank you. All right, now let's see if we can find the DAX. We have the ETF here in the States of the DAX right there. Let's see how that looks. So we've been, now what was that? That was 0, 0, 0 and 0, 0. Yeah, so it went into the sell here. And it's kind of done a little dancing and so forth. You can see it's in a daily sell there. Went into the buy here. See that right there. I guess it's this one or this one. Either way, that was that. And now you can see the weekly is trying to turn up also at the same time. Matter of fact, that's updating live right now, I would say. No, that's not. Let's refresh that. I thought it should be updating live. I'm surprised it's not. Sometimes these ETFs don't do that. And we can take a look at the U.S. stock market too at the same time. Let's go over to that. Because they kind of march together to some extent, I guess you could say. There's the S&P 500, and it's down today. You can see that. That's live, and the pressure is on. But it is playing with a weekly. playing with the weekly buy at the moment. And let's see what the NASDAQ is doing. NASDAQ doing the same thing, but very, very thin. And you can see it's already trying to push back into the daily sell after this crazy pop here. So, yeah, I can see how you're shorting it. And then, with the calamity of the election, you're not sure if it's coming or going. Gold, silver did well today. It was uptrend. Yeah. Bitcoin the same way. Yep. I'm like now. Let's go over to the spreadsheet. But I was like looking at the Bitcoin. What is that? Upload. What am I uploading? It's the only way you can get out of it. You got to tell it to upload and then cancel. And you can see here on the Bitcoin, 20 days now, 7 weeks and 20 days in a buy on the Bitcoin. Let's see. Daniel says oil, if it holds 37, it's bullish. If not, it's a bearish 37. Monthly pivot and monthly. Is that why they found a way to go play with that area a few times now? Let's go over and take a look at the crude oil, because that seems to be the I guess the monthly. I guess that's what it did. Is it played with it here, and then they crushed it that day. Remember, they opened it down and beat it like a rented mule in Death Valley, and then it, they bottomed it really quick and threw it into a daily buy and climbed from that pounding, and now we're seeing this, and we're still in a sell, but it's trying to play with the buy. It's going to be interesting. I think that's very election orientated. 37.5. Yeah, I hear you. That makes sense. Because it does look like it's standing there, this month. You can see that. Oh no, actually that was back in October. So that I guess that's what it is right there. And the low is what, 37.33. So, interesting. Did you see this sell from yesterday? I don't know if you're getting our work or not, but I guess if you did and you knew your pivot, I guess you were looking for it to go to the 37.5. That would make sense. Alrighty. We'll look at anything you guys want to look at. Gold is interesting. And check out the platinum here. Now, what really caught my eye more than these three metals, and this one's being really weird. Look at all these daily sells in here, and the lines are underneath, and that's fine. And then all of a sudden, yesterday it exploded. It's not showing us where we're at today. You can see it's trying to lift up. This is the platinum. Just shows you how thin that product is. What really is catching my eye is this one here, the copper. We've been seeing all kinds of stuff, and then today they're starting to lift it now. Let me just refresh it, but it's been in a daily sell from in here from there, and you can see this ziggy zaggy stuff going on, but we've been in a weekly buy for 4 full weeks now, going on a 5th. Now it's starting to show some life in it. We'll see if they're reaching for all the metals, Let's see. Daniel says, back up launching rockets. Uh-oh, what are they doing to Turkish lira? Let's see. Turkish lira is taking off again. Let's check it out. Is that it? There. Yeah, we can do that right there. Yeah, guns blazing. They are. Let's give it a refresh too. Is that a new high? Yeah, it is a new high, isn't it? 55.95 was the old high. Now it's 56.19. Yeah, look at it, the way it bounced off the time manifold too. It has its problems, that's for sure. Weren't you saying something about it a day or two ago, where the 850 may become the support and it'll take off, not the resistance, and it'll start to base off of the 850 and start to go up, not down. I mean, it's already gone up. I mean, we're going to be now at 49 weeks. We got 3 weeks away from that deck of cards of 52. It's going to be fascinating to see if it hits the 52. Imagine that, 52 weeks in a buy. I saw some products over time play it all the way out to 27 weeks. I've seen, was it Corning Glass maybe did it? Back during the internet bubble of 2000. Did two back-to-back 27 weekers, and with a 1 or 2 week or 3 week buy, and then boom, back into a sell again. And the stock fell from like 200 and some odd dollars down to $23 a share. And when we saw Enron, the oil company, do the same thing around that time period, maybe a little bit before that, I guess it was, or was it after? I don't remember now. And that did also 27 weeks. Let me think. I want to say that was Enron was before the internet bubble. And I want to say that, let's see, so it did a 27 week, did a 3 week, then it did a 27 week, then it did a 1 week, and then it went bankrupt. Gone. Zero. And let me think, who else was there? I've seen a couple products do that 27 week thing, but that's why I'm thinking it's 52 for, well, actually, that would be 54, wouldn't it be doubled? Maybe we're going to see 54 weeks in a buy in the Turkish lira. Maybe that's what it is. It's going to be 54 weeks. Not 52, 54. Double that 27, Let's see. Let's see. Dollar Turkish lira 9 handle by the end of the year and maybe 10 handle next year. Yeah, I hear you. Wow. Wow, that's all I got to say is wow. I don't think I can describe it any better than wow. Yeah, we've seen different products do different things, but boy, to actually watch one go from the 3s to the 10s, we haven't seen. I mean, well, we did see we were following the ruble. Let's go take a look at the ruble, because we saw the ruble do its thing too. Remember, Doc's math caught that whole move up on the ruble. Let's take a look at the ruble. Let's make the J4X the full screen. There we go. And let's go find dollar ruble. Dollar rub. Let's put it in as a weekly. That goes back to 2019. There's 2018. Yeah, I remember in the 40s. We were in the 40s. I remember that. As a matter of fact, I thought we were in the 30s at one point. We were doing the webinar. I've been doing the webinar this long, since the 12s, I think it was. So it was. We had the ruble in the 30s, and we saw it explode all the way up into this 70s area, doubled in price. That was wild. But and I'm trying to remember what the weeklies did with that. I remember. I want to say they did the 27 and 27. I really do. I honestly think it had done something like that. I guess we could go back and check it. It would be well worth looking at. Maybe it did one of the back-to-backs, So. Yeah. I'm getting messages from people. And let's see. Yep. Yeah, I'm getting all kinds of chat here. Let me just answer this last one. And so that is what that is. All right, now let me go to the chat line again. I had to answer the text there. National currency won't likely go away like the stock. Right, exactly. No, what I'm really looking at is the length of time. Because I do see similarity. How, they always say, that old Einstein saying, use ask the same question and expect a different result, or do the same experiment and expect a different result, or as a sign of insanity. Well, it's the same thing with my math. You see something do 27 weeks, you see something do 23 weeks, and you see them do it back to back throughout historical times. And you got to wonder, am I going to see a 54 weeks in a weekly buy in the Turkish lira? In other words, is it going to double the 27? Obviously it got past 30, that's for sure. So we're at 49 now. We're only, to prove that point, it'd be 5 more weeks, which would put us to almost the end of the year. And so, do we see in other words, are we going to see 54 weeks in a weekly buy, and then all of a sudden maybe 3 or 4 weeks in a correction state for the new year, and then boom, they go back and do another 54 weeks? And in other words, I mean, look at the ruble. The ruble went from like 30s to 70. It doubled. Okay, which is a tenacious move. And then, you think about, the movement in the Turkish lira, and it's gone from a 1.5 2 on a slower time frame in many aspects to 8.5 now. It's going 1.5 to 8.5. So it's picked up. It's more than quadrupled. It's like fivefold. 5 times 1.5 is 750. 6 times is 9. So I mean, sixfold. Wow. So that's what I'm saying. I don't expect it to go away. I'm just trying to figure out, is there going to be a similarity in rhythm? In other words, the cycle of the market that we've seen throughout through my 40 years of using my math. I've seen this thing repeat cycles. It goes up there with the concept of Einstein. In other words, I see it do I see it do its consistency. So in other words, it's the opposite of insanity. So in other words, I've seen it do this over and over again. So I'm assuming that it's doing it right now in front of us. And it's just kind of interesting to see it coherently, Yeah, is that what it is? The euro is a 10 handle already. Yeah, I remember saying that one day. You were asking me about something. I put it up there. I accidentally put euro, Turkish lira, and it was like, like an 8 handle. And I was like, wow, it's an 8 handle. Oh my God. But then we realized it was Turkish. It was euro lira, not dollar lira. And so, yeah, I can imagine. It's that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we're going to see a doubling of the 27 that I've seen. I want to say it was like Marvel Comics or DC Comics. One of these investors. It was back in the 80s. I guess it was the 80s. No, it was back in the 90s maybe. And so it was back in the 90s. And one of these comic book companies, one of these Hollywood companies fell apart, and they had owned like Marvel or something like that, and they ended up having to. They did something. Something went wrong, and the stock fell from like 60 to 30 in one day. It lost 50%. And I was in a daily sell, and I saw the consistency. It gave me the same consistent number, and so I've seen this before, even in the most calamity events. I've seen our math show us a consistency of a characteristic. Yeah, so what I'm saying basically is it's exactly what Einstein said. And I'm not always convinced that Albert had his game together to begin with, but I think he was short a couple of fries from his Happy Meal at one point. And so, matter of fact, we know he was short a couple of fries from his Happy Meal because he tried to commit suicide. I mean, that's not well known, but it is documented. That's why he moved in with his cousin. And then that was part of that whole process. They thought he was going to die. He'd gone he almost died, and he didn't die. And so this was like in the teens. It was even earlier. It might have been like 1908, 1909, something like that. I forget when it was. But anyway, it goes underneath that Einstein concept of insanity. And so it's the inverse of it. We know our math will be consistent. We know it has the characteristics of always being consistent. And we know that it outnumbers the inconsistencies. So they're just trying. I'm just extrapolating some ideas there. Thinking, I've seen 27, I've seen 23. Am I going to see a 54? In other words, is it going to double the wildest one we've seen in my lifetime, and that is the Enron of 27. So back to back 27s, and the thing that amazed me more was the Corning glass. Watching the Corning glass go from 200 and something down to 23 with back to back 23s, with just a little interruption of 3 weeks. So that's all I'm saying. I just find it to be fascinating to see if it does that. So anyway, that's the ruble, and the ruble's, it's in its odd state as we speak. The ruble, trading in the 70s. It has a lot to, in many ways. Is it going to go like I kind of doubt it's going to go the way of the yuan. Where there's like 100 rubles to the dollar. Not the yuan, the yen. I mean, look at the dollar yen. Here's the dollar yen. Now, a lot of traders here don't know that at one time the yen was trading at like 600 yen. 600, not one, but 600 yen and 700 yen to the dollar. Matter of fact, let's go to a monthly and see how far back we go on that. That's what's so nice about J4X. I can go. Look at it. Yeah, there you go. So you're going to see this. Look at this. It's going all the way back into the 90s. So, no, it's not going back into the 90s. Yeah, if it, wonder if we can get that weekly to do that. Boy, I remember trading like 600 yen to the dollar. I remember those days. I've been trading the yen since 1981. So, I guess this doesn't go back that far. It just goes back to the turn of the century. Yeah, it goes to 2003, and that's it. So anybody out there go take a look at a long-term chart of the yen back into the 80s, and it was a much higher animal. It was a wild animal. Let's see, the euro dollar pairs trade starts to go up while yen dollar starts to go down. That usually is right. Yeah, that's the way it usually works. They usually march together. We have seen in the last few months where it has not. We've seen some breakaway, but normally they seem to march, and we've put that on charts too. We've shown where the the dollar index itself, how it matches up to the yen. Let's see where the yen is right now on our work. Whoa, we're past time, aren't we? We got to get out of here. What should we call today? Today is like, thank God it's Friday, that's for sure. But what should we call? Anybody have an opinion on what we should call this webinar? What did we focus in on this webinar? Should we do like Canadian Hong Kong and really freak them out? That's kind of cool, Let's see. This is why I am considering euro, Turkish lira longs and Turkish lira yen shorts. Do they do a Turkish lira yen short? We'll have to check that out. Bring that up on Monday. We'll go chase it. That sounds like something that would be very interesting. Yeah, because in essence, that's really like a dollar trade, isn't it? And that's something we should look at. The dollar Turkish lira action and the Turkish lira yen action, and see what they look like. So, all right, traders, I got to get rolling along. This is Doc from North America. It's been fun. Everybody have a safe and a smart weekend, and we will catch you on the flip side here. So happy trails to you until we meet again on Monday. Happy trails to you, to all our traders.